I should have recorded this on the inside, but I didn't because I was silly. Uh, Today I'm feeling much better. I'm waiting on my Uber to take me to the hospital. And here he comes. I should have thought about this sooner, but I'll keep you updated when I get to the hospital. Hello, and thank you for stopping by my channel today. Um, this is the second day after my achalasia surgery, or the oral endoscopic myotomy. I don't know why I have a hard time saying that. It just doesn't roll off my tongue like it should. The procedure, I don't know how the procedure went. The doctor said the procedure went well. I feel okay. I'm having some discomfort and some pain. Of course, it's the second day, so that should be expected. The doctor did say that once the swelling goes down, I should be able to. I'll feel much better. How was my surgery? Let me see. Oh my goodness! So the procedure is complete, and it is painful. I'm not even going to lie. Oh God. I really actually don't remember the surgery at all. I went in, got prepared for surgery. The nurses and the assistants were really, really nice. They made me feel comfortable, and they finally took me to the back, had me do, they gave me general anesthesia. This was the weird general anesthesia, actually, because I had to breathe in some, I guess, oxygen. I had to take 4 deep breaths of oxygen. And then after I completed that, then they dispensed the general anesthesia. And like, all I remember was my doctor, like, he was really, really, like, comforting in that moment, because he kept rubbing my shoulder, telling me everything was gonna be okay. And I just when I first went to see the first gastroenterologist, he was really cold and distant and didn't seem like he was engaged, if that's, we didn't vibe at all. But this doctor, I really enjoyed his consultation from when I first met him. And then I don't know, I didn't expect him to be so, like, caring through the process. When they first wheeled me into the room, he greeted me, and he came and, like, touched my arm and told me I was gonna be okay, and I did appreciate that. But as the woman who administered the anesthesia, the anesthesiologist, she told me how our procedure was going to be a little bit different this time, but once I had the anesthesia, I would be out, and I would feel a little burning sensation, and I did, but I felt it in my groin. Don't ask me why. I was like, why is my groin on fire? And then I was out. Oh God. So let's see. So after that, I woke up. The next thing I knew, I woke up. I was in the room, where they initially received me, and I had left the operating room, and it was like a hazy waking. Like, I woke up and it was hazy, like kind of like being in a drunken stupor. I felt drunk. I was slurring my words, and it just felt weird. But there was this intense pain in my esophagus and in my throat, just in general. And as and at first, I felt the pain, but it wasn't that bad. But as the anesthesia wore off, oh my God, it was terrible. It felt like somebody had, like, stabbed me in the esophagus. I guess somebody did. Anyway, what else happened? So the doctor came in, he asked me how I was doing, and I told him. He said, "Are you in pain?" And I was like, "Yeah, a little bit now. The anesthesia's wearing off, but it's getting worse." And he was like, he told the nurses, and they gave me some pain medication. They took me to my room, and I went to sleep. I vaguely remember speaking to my mother. She called me right right after I got out, amazingly, and I spoke to her. But she later I found out she could tell I was in pain. So throughout the night, the nurses came and checked on me, of course, to do their routines. And the next day, I woke up. The nurse woke me up actually to take my vital signs. The only thing I was scheduled to do the next day was to take a contrast and meet with the doctor after. And I thought I was going to be out of the hospital by like 12 o'clock. It didn't work like that. It took forever. Um, when I finally did get to the contrast, which was cool, they stood me in front of like an X-ray, and I drunk, not like I stood in front of an X-ray, and they took images of me drinking this contrast fluid, and they watched it go down my esophagus to make sure that there was no like liquid falling into the esophageal lining. And it was like looking at the X-ray image, you could see the clips that are in place right now holding the incision closed. The doctor told me those are going to fall off, and I guess I'm going to, expel them later. But, sorry. But there's some clips in there. So I drank the contrast, and it was just cool, like watching the liquid go down and see them taking the pictures. And then they took me back upstairs. The lady sent the results to the doctor. He came to the room that happened at about 12, about 2 hours later. And that's when he had the conversation with me about the procedure. It was so weird. Like he wasn't weird. He was very nice and engaging. But he like pulled up pictures. I wish he would have pulled up the video because I would have loved to see the whole procedure. But he pulled up these pictures, and he showed me like the esophagus before and after. I was so happy to be honest, I'm very happy that I did the procedure, just because I didn't realize that there was food that had collected and was sitting in my esophagus, in the lower part of my esophagus. It was just there. I was like, what is that? And he was like, that's food. And I was like, oh my God, it was disgusting. Oh my goodness. So then he showed me like the image of them making the incision into my esophagus, then injecting this blue liquid so they could see what they were doing. Then he just showed me steps each step. He showed me images of them cutting the muscles in the esophageal lining, and then actually cutting the lower sphincter. It was really cool, like looking at that. I still hadn't, I guess because I wasn't utilizing my esophagus for drinking or eating. I didn't feel pain the whole day. So finally they brought me some food after I spoke with the doctor. I forgot why they didn't discharge me. There was something else I had to do. They had to take a blood work. They had to do blood work before they discharged me. So they did blood work. There was something else. I don't remember. But anyway, I didn't get discharged initially. So they brought me some food. And I have to have, for now, I'm on a liquid diet. I'm not happy about that, but it's better than nothing. I can't have anything with greater consistency than custard. So they brought me like custard, ice cream, sherbet. I didn't eat the ice cream. And they brought me this like puree soup. And I ate the puree. And I wasn't really hungry. I've done a water fast before, so I know the effects of like when you like
only drink water or whatever, you kind of don't get hungry after a while, or your hunger pangs go away after a while. But I wasn't hungry, and then until they brought that food in, and when I smelled the food, I was like, "Oh my God, I want to eat." So, as I ate the food, I remember my mouth started to hurt a little bit. Not, it was just irritating. I won't say pain, but it was just irritating. It's still present now. My throat was sore, and the hot food, it wasn't really hot, but the lukewarm food was a little bit harder to swallow than the colder food was. Um, but I ate it all, and I was glad to get water finally. Other than that, the surgery was like great. I right now I feel a little weird. I I thought I had a lot of energy yesterday. I remember like at one point, well, I had got up to go to the bathroom a couple of times, and then at one point I got up to take pictures of myself, selfies. But I felt like I could take on the world. And when I left the hospital and got home, I went to Whole Foods to go pick up some soups and some yogurt and meal replacement drinks. And I also was supposed to go to the pharmacy to pick up my medication. And on my way to the pharmacy, I was like, oh no. All of a sudden it kicked in. No, I did not have energy. I could not take on the world. I just wanted to go home and go to my bed. So the pharmacy was closed. So I stopped by my favorite coffee shop, and it's called Storks. It's in Wilton Manors, and they have fresh soup that they make every day. So I bought some soup. They had pumpkin soup, and I bought that and took that home and ate it. The medication I'm supposed to get was one's an antacid okay, so the doctor prescribed me pantoprazole. Yeah. And what that does is it reduces your acid. Except I couldn't get it last night. So I was hungry, and I was trying to drink more water just to get more fluid in my body. And when it was time for me to go to bed, I don't know, I was nervous. So I laid in the bed because I was concerned about acid coming back up into my esophagus. And it took me a while to get to sleep, but I slept well. But this morning I could not get up. It took me forever to get up. I got up a couple times to go to the bathroom, but each time it was work. And then finally at about 11, I was able to gather enough strength to get out of the bed and get up and go to Walgreens to try to pick up my medication. I encountered a difficulty with one of the medications. It is Augmentin. I don't know. It must not be covered by my insurance company because the pharmacist told me it was like $1,000. And I was like, oh, he said more than $1,000, I should say. So they're trying to get the doctor to switch it to pill form so it's less expensive. I don't know why it's so expensive. So I'm waiting on that and I'm kind of concerned about it. Do I have $1,000 to spend on medication? Not really, but if I need to, I will. But other than that, my energy levels are pretty good right now. I do want to go and take a walk just because I want to get some exercise in. But to be honest, I just want to go to bed and just lay in the bed and do absolutely nothing. Pain and discomfort, it comes in waves. The more I use my esophagus, the more pain I encounter, but it's not a constant pain. It's pain that comes and goes. I had to record this twice, so I lost content because for some reason it stopped recording. And there was an episode where I had like a instance of pain where it felt like my esophagus is contorting or being twisted and turning into knots. That's the best way I can explain it. If I drink water, I feel that pain. If I drink, is it coming right now? No, it's not. Anything that I'm eating is the consistency of almost nothing. So it's going to be a while until I feel better. There's no more like leftover residual pain from like anything being pushed into my throat, but there is that like spasm pain, if that's what I call it, a spasm pain kind of feeling. That's what it feels like. But yeah, hopefully this, for the fact that there was food particles or food that had seeing the picture of the food collected in my esophagus has made me very glad that I did this procedure. I remember I would be like walking or just doing something, and all of a sudden I would feel nauseous, and now I know why. So I hope that I don't have any problems with that in the future. I do know that the doctor says I will be able to go to solid food soon, well, after a week or so. And I don't know, I'm kind of concerned about that, but we'll see. But I'm in a good space right now. I feel really good. That's probably because I'm on a liquid diet, and that's what normally happens when you go on a liquid diet. You feel great. You just don't have a lot of energy. But right now I'm gonna go on my walk, and then I'm going to lay down and watch the debate tonight. I don't know why I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be terrible. There was one of those spasms, sorry. So I just wanted to share my process with you guys, just for anyone who may be suffering from achalasia and who may be unsure about what they need to do or what they want to do or what the process will be for them. Excuse me. I wish that somebody would have shared their experience online, just a little bit more in depth. I found a couple people who spoke about like dealing with it after, but no one ever talked about what happened, procedure wise. But yeah, I'll update later. I'll keep updating, especially as as I start to heal more and recover, and my body gets accustomed to the procedure, so that I can tell you how I'm eating, what I'm doing, how it affects me with exercise, because I'm concerned about that. Like, I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to do handstand push-ups, because I don't want acid dropping into my throat, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And with that, I'm going to go on my walk. I just wanted to take the time and thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, please just shoot me a comment below and I'll respond. And I really appreciate you watching. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Catch you later.